Hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. I have a couple of familiar faces in the chat here, so thanks for joining me, Edward and Sal as well. I haven't seen you in a while, so welcome to the webinar. I'm just
Hello.
admitting some more people. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good.
Yeah.
Nice to see everyone. We're going to give it a couple of minutes here to let people sign in. So, as you guys know, we're going to be talking about some lead gen ideas today. So, just welcoming some more people into the group. All right. Yeah, lots of familiar faces. Hello. Hi, Dennis. Thanks for joining today. And Norm. Shelly, nice to see you as well. Good. It looks like this is going to be a popular topic. So, that's great. All right. So again,
So,
I'm just going to give it a
Jane,
few minutes
do
and we'll get
you
started.
have these? Do you have these weekly?
Yeah, so I was just about to say, so we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis now. So every Wednesday, I'm going to talk about free lead gen ideas. So the topic today we're going to be discussing is Facebook Marketplace, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, every week, Wednesdays at noon. So hopefully you're able to join.
Okay, put it in the
And
calendar.
these will be recorded and we will be uploading them to YouTube. So if you miss one and it was something that you wanted to learn more about, then yeah, you'll be able to catch the recording as well.
Perfect. You have your own YouTube channel?
Yes, yeah. So I will put that in the chat afterwards.
Okay. Is it new or have you had it for a while?
It's new, yeah. So there's some videos from past trainings that are on a channel that I don't own. So yeah, so this will be new. So it'll be under my name.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, nice to see everyone. All right, let me see. I'm going to give it one more minute, but we've got a good group. So, again, thanks for joining me here today. All right, so as I said, for those of you who just joined, my name is Jane. We're going to be talking about some free lead gen ideas, and this is something that I'm going to be doing every week on Wednesdays at 12 o'clock. So, hopefully, you're able to join me. If not, they will be recorded and you can catch them later. So let's get started. Before we begin, for those of you who don't know me, as I said, my name is Jane, and I'm originally from Vancouver. I have been in real estate now for 12 years. Originally from Vancouver, that's my hometown. I'm actually in Vancouver right now. But I moved to Toronto 8 years ago. And when I did, I didn't know anybody. I had no sphere of influence. So I really had to get creative and come up with some ideas on how I was going to meet people, how I was going to generate leads. And as a single mom with 4 kids, I wanted those ideas to be free or at least, not very expensive. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. Just some of the things that I have tried along the way that have worked for me and things that I have shared with other agents. Sharing, what was working for me and what, wasn't working for me led me to be the national training manager for an online real estate brokerage in Canada. And so I really enjoyed that role. I then became the recruiter for another leading brand in real estate. And that just resulted in a lot of conversations with agents about what they're doing, what's working, what's not, what's frustrating. And so I just wanted to share with you guys what has worked for me in the past and, learn from you guys as well as to what works for you in terms of generating leads. Because at the end of the day, we want to be busy and we need to, be having conversations all the time. And sometimes, you might get those referrals that come in, which is great if you already have an established business. But if you're new to the industry, that sometimes can be a challenge. How are you going to generate all these conversations every day, every week? Of course, resulting in sales. So that's what we're going to talk about. And so the idea here is really simple. I'm going to recommend that you have 4 different pillars, right? So think of it as a table with 4 legs. You want to have a really strong foundation and you want to have 4 different lead gen ideas or activities that are resulting in conversations and of course resulting in sales. So really simply, if you were to take a piece of paper and fold it in half and fold it in half again, you've got your 4 squares. This is something that, I would encourage you to have on your desk, have it in front of you. So it's something that's visible to you every day, right? Sometimes as realtors, we wake up and we're not sure what it is that we're supposed to do. If you have this one piece of paper in front of you, this will help you stay focused. At least I hope so. It works for me. And then pick 4 different ideas that you are going to implement and that you are going to stick with and be consistent with for at least 3 to 6 months. So think of it, the first quarter of the year, the second quarter. I want you to pick 4 different lead gen activities that you're going to stick to for that amount of time so that at the end of the quarter, you can look back and go, okay, you know what? This one didn't work at all. Or this one I hated doing. It was a struggle and I just don't want to keep doing it. And that way, at the end of the quarter, instead of reinventing the wheel, you can just toss the one out that you don't like or don't enjoy doing. So again, having these 4 pillars, I think is going to be really important just to stay focused. So one of the things we're going to talk about today, hopefully you'll implement as one of your pillars, is Facebook Marketplace. So there's lots of other ideas that you can implement for your other 3. And feel free to reach out to me later if you're wanting to brainstorm. But Facebook Marketplace is what we're going to discuss today. So this is one of my most favorite lead gen activities to recommend. It's great for new agents. It's great for experienced agents. You don't need to have your own listing. You can borrow a listing from another agent with permission, of course. And you can post that on Facebook Marketplace, which is free. Of course, you can always boost those ads. Facebook is always happy to take your money, but that's optional. It's not something that you have to do in order to generate conversations, people reaching out to you, inquiring about this particular property. So I'm going to share with you how I've done this in the past and what I have seen has worked. So we're going to start off talking about how to pick a property. And then we're going to make sure that we are compliant and that the listing agent has provided permission for us to advertise their listing because it's not our listing. So we want to make sure that that's allowed. And I will share with you an email as well that you can use if you're not sure if they've allowed permission or not. You can reach out to the agent with a template that I've created. From there, I'm going to give you a very brief Canva tutorial where you can take a photo of the property, put it into a Canva template so that you can then post that onto Facebook Marketplace. And the reason I'm going to recommend using Canva and not just saving the photos and posting them on Facebook Marketplace, I'm going to recommend that you do a Canva cover because I want your face to be on there as well. And the reason for that is because I want you to imagine Facebook Marketplace as your online billboard. So you're going to be doing this over and over and over and over again. I hope it's not just going to be one property that you post on Facebook Marketplace, but it's going to be multiple. So if you have your face or your logo or both on that first photo on Facebook Marketplace, people are going to start to recognize you. That's going to give you credibility. So as I said, instead of drivers passing by billboards on the side of the road, these are online leads browsing Facebook Marketplace, and they're going to see you. This is your online billboard. So I'll show you how to create that. Then I'm going to show you exactly what I say on my Facebook Marketplace post so that you can copy and paste that in your description. It's really simple. And then I'm going to show you some of the real life replies that I have received from people inquiring about properties and what it is that I say to them. I'm going to show you what hasn't worked in the past, and I'll show you what has worked. And at the end, I'm going to give you a little bonus so that you can see how to keep track of all of these leads, because honestly, you will get quite a few inquiries. So let's get started. I'm going to just actually, like I said, this is a real life training. So I am going to switch my screen and I'm going to jump into TREB, so the Toronto Real Estate Board. Hopefully, if you're not using TREB, you have something similar. Again, if you don't have the option to select permission to advertise, so listings that the listing agent has allowed you to advertise their properties, there is an email template that I will share with you as well. So before we get started, let me just make sure I've admitted everybody. And if there are any questions, let me know. All right. Yeah, no worries if you can't turn on your camera. No worries at all. All right. Okay. So let's just jump in. Are we ready? All right. Okay, so this is my MLS system. So I am a Toronto Real Estate Board member. So this is my MLS system. I've already logged in. So hopefully you guys have something similar to this, if not exactly this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to search for a property that I want to advertise on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm going to start with leases. Leases will generate business for you this week, this month. So if you're looking to, get going and really ramp up, I would recommend leases. This strategy has converted buyers for me as well. So definitely post, properties that are for sale. And I'm actually going to kick this off by saying I would recommend doing this every morning. This is something that I enjoy doing. It's something that doesn't require conversations with people. It's a good morning activity. I find, I'll have my coffee and I will find a property and I'll post it on Facebook Marketplace. And that's my daily lead gen activity. So if you're doing this every day, you're going to have lots of listings on Facebook Marketplace. You're going to have lots of conversations. So mix it up. Find properties that are for lease, find properties that are for sale. So I'm going to just kick it off with some properties for lease. So under the search menu, you're going to see residential condo and other properties for lease. I am in Oakville, so pick something that is close to you, pick something that is convenient for you. So as I said, I'm in Oakville, so that's the area I'm going to select. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on condo apartment, and that's going to give me 293 matches. So there's a lot to choose from. If you scroll all the way down, you may or may not have the option that is called permission to advertise. So permission to advertise is where the listing agent has said, yes, other agents can borrow this listing and promote it to their network, on their social media. And a lot of times agents will say no. So you want to make sure that you are finding the properties that the agent has said yes to. So once you select permission to advertise yes, now we're going to see that the matches are 177. So still a lot to choose from. So if you click on results, that is going to give you a list of all of the properties that are available. Again, if this is something that you are doing on a daily basis, I'm going to recommend what has generated the most amount of conversations. And of course, that's going to be the lower price point. But again, if this is something you're doing every morning, then pick properties that are at a higher price point, right? You're not going to get as many conversations, but hopefully you'll get that one lead that is interested in a property that's $5,000 a month, right? So a quick tip here, as I said, we're going to start off with the lower price point because it does generate a lot of conversations. So if you sort this list by price, you're going to see that there's a lot of options here in the 2000 range, 2100 range, and so on and so forth. So that's the price point I'm going to recommend to start. But I'm going to give you another little tip here. If you go ahead and select address and you sort by address, this is going to give you a list of all of the units available in each building. So for example, 3250 Carding Mill Trail has a lot of available condos for lease, and they're all, well, with the exception of one is 2800, 2450. The rest of them are all in that 2000 to $2100 range. So this is a great building to promote. Any building that has multiple listings is going to be a great building to choose. And the reason for that is because you're going to pick one of these that has, the permission to advertise. You're going to pick one of these, you're going to promote that on Facebook Marketplace. And when somebody inquires about that particular unit, guess what? You have multiple units in that building that you can also show them. So that just increases the chances of them actually liking something that you show them, right? It also means that you can show one lead a whole bunch of different units in a building, and you don't have to drive to different buildings. I mean, of course, they may want to see other buildings, but maybe they really like this particular building. And you saying that you can show them a whole bunch of different properties or units in that building, again, just increases the chances of them liking something, and of course you submitting an offer and having it accepted. So let's go ahead and select unit 505. So that one seems to have, the good price point that I was recommending. So that's $2,000 a month. And so then go ahead and take a look at the photos. You want to make sure that you're not picking a property where the realtor has taken photos on their iPhone, right? You want to make sure that the photos are nice and bright. So we're going to go ahead and just click on these photos and browse through to make sure that, like I said, they look like professional photos, something that you want to advertise. Remember, you're putting your name on this. So, the general public doesn't know that this isn't your listing. They will assume that it is. So make sure that, again, It's photographed nicely, it represents well, it's something that you can borrow. So let's go ahead. We're just kind of clicking through these photos here. So it looks like your pretty standard one bedroom unit. It's got a nice view overlooking the suburbs if that's what you're into. But like I said, we're going to ask for permission to advertise this unit, but really we're advertising the building, right? So you can certainly save all of the photos of the unit. But the photo that I'm going to recommend that you use as your cover photo is going to be the exterior of the building. So one of these is one of the photos you're going to want to use, again, so that you're promoting this building entirely and not just specifically that unit. So before we jump into Canva, I am going to share with you that email that if you're not sure that you're allowed to advertise this particular building, you can send to the listing agent just to make sure that you have permission. So, any questions so far before I jump into that email?
Jane, if they
Yeah.
say in the MLS, say permission to advertise, yes. So can I assume or
Yep. Yeah, definitely. If it says yes, you should be able to advertise it. I used to take this extra step always, but you're right. It shouldn't be necessary. If they have selected yes, you can assume that yes, you have permission to advertise. You'll see the wording in my email. Well, you'll see the wording in my email. So this is what I sent to the listing agent. Good morning. Again, I do this first thing in the morning with my cup of coffee. Congrats on your listing at 123 Main Street, Toronto, Oakville, wherever it is. I'd love to help you lease or sell your listing, depending on what it is. And I'd like to ask for your permission to post it on classified websites such as Craigslist, Kijiji, social media, etc. So I don't specifically say Facebook Marketplace, I just say social media. So you can change that if you'd like. I carry on to say, please note that I will not make any misrepresentations and I will only copy and paste data directly from the client version of the MLS listing. I promise that I will do my best to find you a tenant or buyer, again, depending on the listing. And then I say at the end, if you are okay with me advertising your listing as described above, please reply to this email and type the word yes in the subject line or body. So making it really easy for them. They don't have to give me back a whole paragraph. But then PS, I am contacting you because you selected yes for agents to contact you for permission to advertise your listing. If you do not wish to receive emails about advertising your listings, just reply with the word unsubscribe and I will respect your wishes. So again, you're just letting them know. Sometimes agents, post things on MLS and maybe they didn't realize that they selected yes. So that's a nice little email that you can send to the listing agent just to make sure that you have permission and, gives them the opportunity to say no if that's the case. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, go ahead, Norm.
I wanted to find out from you the watermarks in the picture that you have
Yeah,
from the listing. Do you are you able to get rid of them, or do you post
for
them
sure.
just with this watermarks?
Yeah, definitely. So you're referring to the brokerage at the bottom?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to show you a trick on how to get rid of that. So let's go ahead and we're going to jump into Canva now. So now
Uh,
that we've selected a property,
Before
we've
that,
made sure.
can I ask
Sorry,
a
go
question?
ahead.
Hi, Jane. This is Majid.
Hi.
I just wanted to read from the email that I sent. I've been doing this a lot. I've been getting a lot of good results. Can I share what I write to them? I think that would
Yeah,
be helpful for everyone as well. I just write, hi, X, and then I write, I hope you're doing well. This is Majid from Zolo Realty, and I work in the area. I was wondering if I could please have the permission to advertise your listing on social media. We have a lot of clients at our company and in our system, and I could also promote your listings among my colleagues and other agent friends. I would appreciate it if you please kindly let me know about it. That's all. And
perfect.
do you think that's a good, like text?
Absolutely.
Okay. Another
Yeah.
question that I have, is there a way to like mass email? Because I've been doing this and I write like, in the subject, I write regarding your listing and permission to advertise like the property's address, right? I have to like email them individually. And I'm just looking for a way to do this like mass so that I can get
Yeah.
like more. Do you know any ways on that or?
So to be honest, I take my time with these. So I am selecting
Mhm.
individual properties. And because
Same
of
here.
that, I reach out to individual
Yeah, I
agents.
do like
Yeah.
the trick that I use is like the price. Like if it's
Yeah.
a, good priced, property that matters a lot. Like for example, it's a 4 bedroom full house that is like under 4K in our area. That's like a pretty good price. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
focus on that. And as you mentioned, pictures matter. Like if they
pictures
have good
matter.
pictures, then they attract more like buyers or like tenants, right? So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. So I do these individually. I'm sure there's a way to batch
Okay.
email, but then I don't know how you're selecting which properties you want to, but still that would be sort of done
Yeah. Yeah.
individually. So I do it on an individual basis.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that does take a lot of time,
yeah,
right? So
yeah,
okay.
it does. And that's what, you know what, like I said, I only do one a day, right?
Hmm.
Um, so it's not meant to be a time consuming thing where it's hours and hours. Again, I get through one of these with my first cup of coffee and it's posted and I do it again the next day. So
Right. And I
yeah,
do this, by the way, another tips and trick. I do
yeah,
this like every 2, 3 days so that like I get the fresh listings, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
that there is a more chance for them to give it to me, and there is a more chance for me to just like be the first ones, because a lot of people do this, like I
yeah.
realize that. And it's better if you do it like when the listing hits the market, so that like you're the first one who are putting it on Facebook Market, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and for those agents who do it, this is why, I want to recommend putting your headshot on the photo so that, you're becoming recognized in your area.
yeah. By the way, another question. Sorry to take the time.
No
Um,
worries.
what about like for buying? Do you also like recommend
Yes.
that?
Yeah. And again, I
Because
find with
like
buying,
I
it's
feel
about the
like
price
I've
point.
I've done it with like properties for sale as well, but
Yeah.
like especially during the past 2 years, literally nobody interested, especially in condos. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if it's a house, maybe if it's a townhouse, maybe, but like condos are like it's a
Hmm.
there are not a lot of buyers anyway. So but I
Yeah,
still do it from time to time, but I rather
for
do
sure.
like rentals because I feel like, people on Facebook Market, they're looking for rentals rather than like to buy a property, you know what I mean? So,
Yes, the rental listings will generate a lot of responses. And, as
mhm.
we all know, those tenants do become buyers a lot of
True.
time.
Yeah.
So definitely post a lot of properties that are available for lease. If you're not interested in doing the leases for $2,000, post the ones that are in the higher price point. Those do generate responses as
Yeah.
well. And then also post properties that are for sale. I have found the most luck with condos, in that 499 price point, and
Hmm.
that will generate
Yeah, you're right.
responses. And that
By
one
the way,
worked for me. I found a
I
couple
know
of
for a
buyers
fact
with
that you're
that.
gonna talk about Canva, and I've tried it as well. But I
Yeah,
feel like based on your like mentality, I'm saying this, numbers matter. So I
yeah,
try to just like generate rather than like spending a lot of time on Canva. What matters is like the price, location, and what the property brings, rather than like making it really that nice. Putting a lot of time. So if you have
yeah,
like more advertisements, the better. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what I found
And
also.
I'm going to show you right now Canva and how it does not take a lot of time. So I totally agree with you. You want to make sure that this is something that you're doing if you enjoy doing this kind of thing, and
Yes,
having a system so that it doesn't take up too much time.
true. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, Majid. All right. So we have picked this property. So we are going to take a photo of the exterior, as I said, and we're just going to copy this photo. So copy image. So you right click on the image, you copy image. Feel free to save them into a folder. Usually that's what I will do. I will save all of them in a folder because I do want to include the interior as well. But just again, we're promoting the building because we have multiple units in this building that we can show. So for our purposes today, I'm just copying the image, but definitely go ahead and save them in a folder. So I'm just going to take this one exterior photo and I'm going to jump over into Canva. So canva.com. Hopefully you guys have used it. Like I said, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial if you haven't, but going to canva.com, you can go ahead and click on create and this will pop up and it'll ask you create a design. What kind of design do you want to create? So I've just simply typed in Facebook, and that's going to give you some templates. So Canva has already created these templates that should be properly sized for Facebook or Instagram, whatever it is that you're doing. So like I said, I've typed in Facebook. It's giving me here the very first option, Facebook post. So I'm just going to double click that. That's going to give me a brand new Canva template to use. So you'll see this white box in a second. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and paste. And so it's going to copy that image that we just, it's going to copy the image that we just copied from MLS. And in order to expand it, you're going to go ahead and again, right click on it. And you can just say set image as background. And Norm, you were asking how to get rid of the brokerage at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double click on this photo, and you can start to resize the image by dragging the bottom corners out and away. So there you go. So now you've just removed basically the brokerage's name from the bottom. And yes, that's an important step to take for sure. So there's a whole bunch of different design elements that you can use in here. So if you wanted to jump into Canva and do a little bit more of a tutorial, we can do that some other time.
Can I,
But again, for our
sorry,
purposes here today,
can I add something here?
you've copy and pasted that photo into Canva. Yeah, Shelly, go ahead.
Generally, I put my footer there with my picture and my phone
Yeah,
number there. So
yeah.
that way this banner is hidden. So that I actually hide it that way. So
For sure.
but I
Yeah,
like
and
your
that's what
idea.
yeah, excellent. So that's what I'm saying. You can definitely design it in a way that you don't even you can cover it with other things. But yes, absolutely. The next step here that I'm going to share with you is your real estate headshot. You want to definitely have your photo on there because again, this is your online billboard. So I've gone ahead and I've Googled realtor headshots because I didn't want to use mine that already is edited and whatever. If you have a headshot somewhere, I just want to show you how easy this is to remove the background. So let's just pick this handsome fellow. We'll click on his headshot, and you can see that it's a headshot with a background, right? So that he's got trees behind him. So we're just going to go ahead again and right click on this, and we're going to copy this image, and we're going to go back to our Canva template. And again, we're just going to click on paste. So there he is. Canva, again, I love Canva. It's super easy to use. As soon as you paste a photo into your template, you're going to have a toolbar up at the top. And the second option here is BG Remover, which means background remover. So if you just click on that, it's going to do its magic and it's going to take away those trees. And you can go ahead and position it wherever you'd like. And of course, Shelly, as you said, you can go ahead and enter in your phone number, all that sort of information. You can add your logo. The one that I use is very simple. I put all of my contact information in the body of the ad, and the photo itself is just a photo of the exterior of the building, my headshot in the corner, and then I have a logo that I put right in the middle. So however you want to design it, it's just do it consistently for every single listing that you decide to post on Facebook Marketplace so that people start recognizing you, right? And reaching out to you for real estate, even if it's not about that particular property, right? They're starting to understand you're an agent, you can help not just with that particular building. So really easy, simple Canva tutorial there. And then we can go ahead and post it on Facebook Marketplace. So before we jump into that, any questions about the Canva template?
No, it's good.
Okay.
I have a
Yeah,
quick
pretty simple.
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you just put your headshot and your phone number, or just your headshot along with listing?
So I will put all of my contact information in the body of the ad that I'm going to do for Facebook Marketplace. So I only have the exterior of the building, my headshot, and my logo.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to before put my website down at the bottom, but at some point I thought it looked too cluttered and I took it out. But that I had on there for a long time. All right, sorry, let me just check the chat here. Hey, Dennis, awesome. Yes, that's right. You've done this. You've done this before. He's sharing in the chat
Trying to run a camera on
his
YouTube.
ads. Yeah, love it. Amazing. All right. Okay. So let's jump into Facebook Marketplace. So hopefully you guys all have a profile. This is something that you will have to do under your personal profile. So I've got my profile here, and on the sidebar is where you can go into Marketplace. So hopefully you guys know how to navigate at least up until there. And you're going to want to go ahead and create a new listing. So when you create a new listing, you have different options here, and you'll be selecting home for sale or rent. So that's going to be the category that we're going to be advertising in. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to click on my listings because I have active listings that I want to share with you. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the first one here. And I'm going to edit this listing just so that I can show you what it is that I have put in as the body of the ad itself. So this one is a little bit different than what I've been talking about. Again, I play around with this strategy all the time. And what I did in this particular instance was to advertise multiple buildings in Oakville instead of just one. I know that there are multiple units in each of these. I have to say this one hasn't been as successful as when I have targeted just one building. But still, for our purposes here today, I'm going to share with you what I put in the ad. And this one, as you can see, I have cover photos for each building with my headshot and my logo. So when you scroll down here, this is what you would be inputting. So it'll ask you if this is a property for sale or for rent. So you just select whatever applies, what type of property it is. So is it an apartment, a house, a townhouse? And then you continue to scroll down. Oops. And then it asks you how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and what's the price. So one bedroom, one bath, $2,000. And then in this case, I just put Oakville because I have multiple properties or multiple buildings. And then this is the rental description. So in this particular case, it says condos for lease in Oakville. DM me for a complete list of available units. So I use a little emojis. I feel like that makes things stand out to people. So I'll use an emoji for the beds, the baths, the parking, the price, and then a little calendar emoji for when it's available. And I always say available immediately. I want people who are looking to move pretty quickly. So one bedroom, and here's the other tip: one plus bedroom. So you're advertising the one bedroom for 2,000, but you have units that are available with more bedrooms, with more bathrooms, and at a higher price point. So one plus bedrooms, one plus baths, one parking, and then I say one bedroom starting at 2,000 plus per month. So that's always something good to say. People won't catch that all the time, but you can say, yes, I have properties that are available for 2,000 and higher depending on what you're looking for. So I put that right in the rental description, and then I say available immediately. And this is where I put in my contact information. So interested in booking a showing, question mark, DM me or text me, and then there's my phone number. I've also included this. This is a recent addition that I'm sort of playing around with. Needed to lease. So what do they need in order to lease? There will be a rental application, full credit report, proof of income, and photo ID. And then I put, as I said, my name and contact information, including my brokerage. So the rest of it, I leave pretty much, blank, and then I go ahead and post it. And so it's as simple as that. And once that ad is posted and visible, you will start getting replies. And so again, you can do this every day for rental properties, for properties that are for sale. You can pick different price points, see what works. And the more you have out there, the more responses you'll get. Edward, go ahead.
So then never kind of specific, like a unit number or anything, like a kind of generic.
No, so I have um, ask permission to make sure that I'm advertising that building, and I'll use the photos from that unit, but I won't put that unit in the description. I'll just say that I have one plus bedrooms available, $2,000 plus a month, and go from there. So yeah, I have permission to advertise those photos, but I'm not particularly, I don't want to pigeonhole my ad into it just being for one unit. So it's the building that I'm kind of promoting.
So one more question: this never show the picture of the unit then.
No, I will. So I do have permission to advertise the unit itself. So this example here that I'm showing you, I'm trying to promote multiple condo buildings, but let me go ahead and show you a different one. Um, this one, for example. And then, oh, view listing. Okay. Oh, I marked this one as sold. Okay, so let me see here. Listed over a week ago. So this was for one particular unit, I believe. Yeah, so I went ahead and I showed the floor plan because this one is pre-construction. So again, you can see that I've used different ideas, different strategies, but yes, if I am advertising a unit in the, I'm always thinking about advertising the building generally, but I have permission to advertise that one particular unit. So I will show the interior because that's, of course, what people want to see. And then they'll reach out. And from there, I'll let them know I have other units in the building. So yes, I will include interior photos. Shelly, go ahead.
Yeah, the emojis you put in description. So are you doing all these ads or on the marketplace from the phone or from the computer? How do you
I
do
do it from the
emojis from
computer.
computer?
But here I will actually copy and paste this and I'll put it in the chat. I'm not sure if the emojis are actually going to work in the chat. Let's see if they do. They do. Okay. So this is just something that I have, and it's a copy and paste that I have saved on my computer. And then that way you can go ahead and just copy and paste it into your ad. So no, I'm not doing this off my phone all the time. It's off my
Yeah,
computer.
because
I just
I need to wear glasses and sometimes I feel I have to enlarge it to see it. I feel I'm getting
yeah.
blind. So
Yeah, definitely. So I like the emojis. I feel like it's a good, easy way for people to see things in a bullet point format, but it highlights exactly what it is that I'm describing on each line. So again, these are my suggestions. This is what I find has worked. Definitely if you don't like emojis, if you want to do it in a different way, if you want to describe it in paragraph form, feel free to try that. So play around with it and see what works for you and what your style is. This is, just something that hopefully will help get you up and running with these Facebook Marketplace ads. Feel free to copy this and use it. And again, tweak it and make it your own.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So once you lease a condo,
Mhm.
and it's not your listing, somebody else listing, but you leased it, do you still you can just leased and you can advertise that on Facebook or Marketplace as well?
So I actually leave my Facebook ads up and running. I rarely will mark them as sold just because then they're visible, right? They're there and people can see that I have all these listings when I, really have borrowed them all. So I don't mark it sold unless I feel there are some ads that I get a lot of responses from. For
Mm-hmm.
example, this one here, I think it was 1850. I got a lot of responses. They weren't the best quality leads. So I
Mm-hmm.
eventually just marked it sold. So it's rare that I'll do that. Other times I'll just leave it up and running. But yeah, if you wanted to mark it as leased, you can also, you can put that on your own social media. All I'm talking about here today is just the Facebook Marketplace strategy. I'm not using these ads. I'm not putting them on my social media as if they were my listing. It's just on Marketplace generating leads. So I don't put it on my social media to say, hey, this has just been listed or now it's just been leased because I didn't
Okay.
personally lease it. I'm just using them for Facebook Marketplace leads.
I have another question, sorry.
Yeah.
I do these advertisements from time to time. I'm not as regular as you and Majid, so you know, but one of the condos which I advertised in Mississauga, and I got people interested and they wanted to see it tomorrow, and I vet them and they were good. They send me the documents and everything. But after looking at those condos and I showed them a couple more, they ran away because that deal didn't get matured. I put an offer and they said, oh, please cancel my representation agreement because probably what I'm assuming they find somebody else on Marketplace who is advertising for a different building and they've gone with that person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's the nature of real estate, whether you're
Yeah,
using
that
Facebook
that
Marketplace.
happens all the time, right?
Yeah.
yeah, so it's
And
very
so, yeah,
disappointing.
it doesn't matter if you're using Facebook Marketplace or if you've spent hundreds of dollars on Google ads, if you meet them, you take them out on showings, you put in an offer, if you've gotten to that point, hopefully, they continue to use you. But yeah, it's the nature of real estate that sometimes they may want to move on. So, yeah, that's a whole, other conversation about how to, keep them. But, at the end of the day, it happens. It's real estate. So that's why it's a numbers game, right? And that's why we have to keep generating as much as we can so that, okay, if it doesn't work out with this particular client, then you've got, five more in the pipeline.
I have another question. So you don't you never put like the client remarks?
The client remarks, oh, so you mean the public description on MLS?
Yeah, because I feel like putting that would help a lot because people then would, swarm in and then call you and ask you about like the heat is included or not, like is it
Yeah.
vacant or not? You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
even kind of edit those what the listing agent has and then
Mhm.
put it there so that people know, okay, this one has a parking because they're gonna call me
Right.
and ask me 10,000 questions, right?
Yeah. So you'll see next the responses that I've gotten and how I reply. So I keep it pretty broad, as you can see in my Facebook ad, because like I said, I am focused on showing multiple units in that building. I want to show that client as many options as possible. And so then if I start to talk about this one's available February 1st and it has one parking, then that might not necessarily be true for another unit. So I'm just keeping it very vague so that I can talk to them about, several options. I have a lot of availability in this building. Let me send you a list, right? I can
Got it.
show
Yeah.
5 of these to you tomorrow afternoon, and then each one is going to have different different things attached to it. Parking, no parking, availability, all of that.
No, no, no. It makes sense because I do a lot of houses. It's different story. Like I
Yeah,
rather like focus on one house that's near my house. You know what I mean? So it's a different scenario. So you know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
for sure. So let me share with you the messages that come in. Okay, so first of all, I want to show you on the left-hand side of my screen. These are some of the messages that I received in response to multiple ads that I have up and running. And again, these are free ads. All these ads are up and running without me paying a penny for them, right? So you can see Kylie, James, Patricia, Elvin, Cooper, Rosemary, Anna, Jawad. So many leads have come in from the different ads. So when I say that this works, I promise you it does. And there are a whole bunch of different conversations that happen, and there's a whole bunch of different replies. That I will use. So I think one of the things that I can suggest is definitely to keep it short and sweet. So I used to at the very beginning also reply with a bulleted list. When are you looking to move? How many bedrooms do you need? What's your budget? It's too many questions. Anytime you send more than one question, I find it's very rare that they'll answer everything. So I have honed it down now so that when people ask, is this available? Because that's going to be the prompt that they get from Facebook Marketplace. Is this available? I reply and I will let them know, yes, it is. When are you looking to move? Right? So it's the first question, it gets them engaged. So, hopefully they're looking to move. Right now we're in January. So hopefully they're looking to move in February. If they say to me July, well, that's great, but there, aren't any units available right now for July. We'll have to look closer to May, June to be looking for July availability. So that starts the conversation. And then from there, you can ask them all the other questions. What is it that you're looking for? And then you can get into bedrooms and baths and all those sorts of things. And then you can lightly qualify them too, right? So you can start by saying the landlord needs to see a specific credit score. Is this for yourself? Is this for family? Do you have income and credit? Or good income and credit? And then you just kind of see from there what their responses are. But I will say with Facebook Marketplace leads, especially if they want to see a building that I have promoted that is literally down the street from me, that I know there's availability, I'm not going to ask them too many hard questions about credit and income. This is a Facebook Marketplace conversation. So, I want to get some sort of sense that, they're looking for something fairly immediately. It's great if I can get income and credit from them at that point. But really, I'm going to be pretty quick to the face-to-face meeting. I always find that that's when you have those conversations, and that's what we're in the business of doing. We want to go and we want to meet people and we want to have those face-to-face conversations. And this is a great way to do that. Don't over qualify them in a Facebook Marketplace chat thread, because then you'll likely lose them. So it's all about getting to that face-to-face meeting, in my opinion. Edward, go ahead.
Uh, I know that you got a lot of leads generated, and then do you have a separate way to follow up these guys, or how does it work?
Yeah, perfect segue to the next thing I'm going to talk about. So that's going to be the bonus here that I'm going to share with you guys. is how to keep track of these leads. So before we jump into that, Majid, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I don't really talk to them on Facebook Marketplace that
Okay.
much. I just tell them, hey, here is my number, or leave your number if you want to be contacted. If they call me, so be it. If not, if they drop their number, then I'll call them. Then I start, to qualify them and talk to them about like availability and what is included, what is not, and if the price is negotiable, all those things, right? Like I
Yeah.
don't really like, chat with them like even about like when are you looking to move. That's okay, even if they're moving like in June, right? I just have a conversation with them so that they know somebody cares about them, you know what I mean, so that there are chances that they can get back to me later on.
Yeah, I love that. That is so true. Thank you for saying that because definitely you want to get their contact information from them, right? That is going to absolutely indicate to you that they are a serious lead, right? They're
Yeah,
giving you their
absolutely.
contact
Like if
information.
they're serious about renting something, they're gonna, drop their number. Or like when you drop your number to them, like they're gonna text you at least, right? So
Mhm.
that's the key, right? Like rather than just talking to them, chatting with them, they ask too many questions on Facebook and nothing happens for you as a business. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for that. So yeah, that again also segues perfectly into the next thing here. So how are you going to keep track of all these leads? So as you can see, there's hundreds of leads that I've received from these different ads that I've posted. And so the ones that do seem serious, the ones that do give me their contact information, sometimes they won't necessarily give me their contact information before I put them into my CRM. Maybe it's just a really good conversation. I think they're qualified. I haven't quite gotten their phone number out of them yet, but I will put them into my CRM. So that's the bonus here. So I use Follow Up Boss. Follow Up Boss for me is amazing. I go ahead and I enter them with their name. If I have their email address, great, which oftentimes they will give me pretty quickly. The phone number might be a little bit harder to get out from them. But the email address, usually I'm able to get by asking them if I can send them other listings that are similar, right? So that's going to be an automatic Treb search. I'm sending them auto listings from my MLS system. So I'm pretty quickly able to get their email address. So with that information, I will put them into my CRM. So I use Follow Up Boss. I'm able to put in their name, their email, their phone number if I have it. There's a little background area here. So this particular lead, he's looking for a one bedroom in Oakville for less than 2,100 for himself, his wife, his toddler. His credit score is 680, and their combined income is 6,000. Trebs listing sent. But the beauty of this is you can customize these fields. So if I don't have his phone number, email sometimes can be a little bit tricky to communicate with people. People want things by text, and if I don't have their email address, I will have in here their Facebook link. So our conversation that we have in Messenger, I will keep that link and I will put it in my CRM so that if I want to communicate with him on Facebook Messenger, I don't have to go through hundreds of leads in my inbox. I can literally just click on the link that I have saved in my CRM and then I continue that conversation. Because again, sometimes people are going to be quicker at answering or even seeing their Facebook Messenger messages as opposed to their email messages. So that is something that I have implemented and that helps. But the beauty of Follow Up Boss is the follow up. So on the right hand side of the screen here, hopefully you can see tasks. And so that's where I'll just add a little add button. So again, if they've said, yeah, it's January 21st, but I'm looking for July. Okay, well, I will put a follow up to reach out to them in May, right? I'm going to forget about this person between now and May or this conversation, right? Especially if it was quick. So how am I going to remember to reach out? You have to have a system in place. I know, a lot of agents will start off with Excel. An Excel spreadsheet is great. Just make sure that you do have, a follow up column. But I do suggest if there's anything that I recommend spending money on, again, this is all about free lead gen ideas. So I'm not about, recommending anything that is going to cost you money. But a good CRM is something that you can grow into. I would highly recommend. So following up, knowing when to follow up with these leads. You've done all the work. You've posted every day. You have these listings that you post on Facebook Marketplace. You're getting the leads contacting you. So now how do you follow up with all of them, right? So how do you maximize that conversion rate? Yes, you're going to be able to convert the ones that are ready to go now. They want to schedule a showing tomorrow. You put in the offer by the end of the week, boom, boom, boom. Those you don't forget about because it all happens quickly. But again, the leads that say they're not ready for 3 to 6 months, how are you going to remember them? How are you going to follow up with them? So follow up boss is something that I would recommend looking into. But if you're not there yet, have an Excel spreadsheet. Just make sure to include that column where you have a follow up, when to follow up with them next. So there you go. Let me see in the chat. Yeah, no problem. Okay, great, good stuff. Let me just go back here. So there you go. So that is the whole system from start to finish, how to post these ads on Facebook Marketplace, what to say. And again, tweak it, make it your own. It doesn't have to be exactly mine. I'm just sharing with you what I'm using, just so that you have something to copy and paste and use moving forward. But yes, make it your own, change it. If you want to do the whole description in MLS, go for it. Like I said, I like doing the bulleted forms because I just find it's easier to read. It's all the information they need. Edward, go ahead.
Once you post it and forget, like never visit again that listing.
Um, so some listings are really active and I get a lot of responses from them. So yeah, I mean I revisit the listings in that sense, but otherwise I just keep posting, right? Making sure that it's fresh all the time. So I might post the same building several times. I wouldn't post the same building every week, but certainly when there's availability, I'll post it again. So yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for your question. Yeah, any other questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, how much follow up would be enough? What do you think? Like, I personally think that these days, especially, it's better to focus on more lead gen and more leads, new leads, I mean, rather than like, you know, chasing people who ghosted you. That's what I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? That is the beauty of
What do
this
you think?
system. I think you're so right. I think that when, you're spending hundreds of dollars, for example, on a Google ad, you're probably chasing them a lot harder than a Facebook Marketplace ad, right? You've spent
Mhm.
real money on these leads from Google or, boosting ads on social media or whatever it is. You're probably following up with them harder to get a response. But, oftentimes Facebook Marketplace, you will get a response. You might try to follow up with
No, I
them
meant,
because
I
they said
sorry
they
to cut
wouldn't
you
be
off
ready
again.
right away.
I meant that let's say you went for showings with someone,
Yeah.
right? And they're not responsive, right?
Yeah.
So if they're not serious, then like I might as well, or the individual, the real estate agent as well, might as well, focus on like more lead gen and
For sure.
you know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's the key, I think.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
has been working for me rather than like before I used to be like, okay, so let me just follow up. I mean, it's not bad to follow up, but then there is
Yeah.
some degree to it. Like you can spend that time,
Yeah.
generating more new leads, right? So
I completely agree. And so, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't follow up too hard. I would follow up after a showing, certainly. And, what did you think? If you followed up a couple of times after a showing, 3 times, and they're not responding, the beauty
mhm.
about having their email is that you can hopefully also communicate with them by an email newsletter. So even though they're not responding to you, you don't want to chase them anymore. They're not responding to you right now for whatever reason. You're still staying in touch with them systematically through some sort of weekly or monthly newsletter.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about clients who did provide their,
Yeah.
documents. Like I
Hmm.
did even qualify them. Now the agents are getting back to me. What happened, Majid? Like how did the
Yeah.
showing go? Are you gonna be putting an offer? But then they're not responsive, right? Like I contacted them, called them, emailed them, messaged them a couple of times, but they're not responsive. So like, so be it. Like I rather like work with new clients then. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, if you've done your best and you followed up and there's no response,
Mhm.
we have to move on. And so, yeah, again, the beauty with this system is that you won't have a shortage of people to talk to, right?
And I
So,
feel like this thing is about, we're talking about tenants and Facebook market, leads, right?
yeah.
But like it's different than buyers. For buyers, it's a different story. It's
Yeah.
best to just follow up because it's a
Yeah.
different, income. different commission, you know what I mean? So
Definitely, yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this works for buyers. So, very similar to the lease leads or the listings that we talked about earlier. Find a listing that has a good price point, whether it's
Hmm.
499, three
Yeah,
ninety nine
yeah,
for a condo right now, or 999 for a detached. If you see something like that, post that, right? You will
absolutely.
get
And
you will get
I
leads.
feel like we shouldn't post the ones that are like, are bound to be multiple offers. That's
Right,
the response I got. Because as soon as you do that, people, especially on Facebook Market, they're expecting, oh, they can get a discount buyer's market. They don't understand it, so might as well like post something that is like at least like near the asking price. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just sharing my experience. Sorry to take
Yeah,
the
no, I
class time.
appreciate that. That's great.
Okay, thank you so
Definitely. Well,
much.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for that. And Dennis, I saw you had your hand up too.
I did. I did. I was just gonna say, leaning on your CRM is, and again, please forgive me again, Jane. I'm just getting over being sick. I'll be on camera next week. I will be,
No
but
worries.
leaning on your CRM is key. Like, Majid, for following up with the clients, say they ghost you. If you have a campaign running, the system will automatically send emails, text messages. I have a CRM that utilizes AI. AI vets them, does all the questions, sends me the information and all that. Like, my AI even answers my calls and asks them like, when are you looking to buy? Do you have a down payment? Have you got a pre-approval? Like all that type of stuff. So if you utilize that, and then you yourself go out there and get more leads and keep feeding the machine will do the follow-up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you're definitely right, but you're using AI. I'm just a one-man army. You know what I mean? I might, if I was using that, yeah, you're right. But like, you probably are spending some money on that too. And if I had that money, definitely, I think the future of real estate is in AI.
Yeah.
Whether we
We'll
want it
have
or not,
to
we're going to that direction. So
we'll have to do a training on AI
I
for real
guess,
thing.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you, you
I
guys,
just
so
have a
much for
question.
joining. I'm going to put in the
Sorry,
chat just my
Jane.
Calendly. So if you want to reach out and connect, I will have some coaching programs coming soon. But in the meantime, if you want to chat with me about my team at Real, definitely book in a call. Otherwise, you guys know you can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to share ideas. And if you need brainstorming, I'm always happy to participate in that as well. So hopefully you guys can join me next week. Again, every Wednesday at noon. This is what we're doing. And next week, the topic that was requested last time was open houses. So we're going to talk about how to convert your open houses. If that's going to be one of your 4 lead gen ideas, open houses are a great way to get immediately in front of potential buyers. And we're going to talk about a strategy that is not just Saturday or Sunday, 2 to 4. We're going to talk about a strategy that starts on Thursday and goes all the way to Tuesday. So even though you're only doing that open house physically on Saturday and Sunday or Sunday from 2 to 4, there's a strategy that you can put into place to really maximize those open houses. So thank you again for joining me today, you guys. Again, if you'd like, book a call with me or just reach out. And I look forward to doing this again next week.
Thank you, Jane. Thanks.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye.
Bye for
Bye.
now.